Great start. Guess who was talking for a minute without realizing that the microphone was muted? Hmm. Uh, Sand? I will spoil you. It was me. Holy. So, anyway, hello. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to see you today in this fantastic day of Friday. Maybe you're done with work, maybe you're still at working, maybe you're already celebrating with your friends. And no matter what, I hope you have a fantastic time and join me for the next at least 40 minutes reading another chapter of my book. This is part number 7. We have after this 9 more to go. I don't know, lots of yapping before I start reading, actually. I need to make more, like, stream assets of sorts. Like, I have only this thing I can stream games as I did with Diablo, but I have nothing else. I don't have a yapping waiting room part. I don't know if I'm unprepared at something. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of happy today. Actually, this is kind of weird. After a very rough, week, I'm quite happy. Why is the tracking? Ah, everything is broken, man. Why is broken? Why is everything breaking? Every single minute of every damn second. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Very, very cool. Here go, here. In my corner. Ha 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 ha. Cool. Yeah, again, after a very rough week, I think. It's been rough. My toilet broke, my spine and hip hurts because my bed also broke. So this entire week I've been sleeping on the floor, which also isn't really too healthy for the spine, because transition from very soft to very rough doesn't really support and makes the muscle sore. Which, as you can figure out, isn't ideal. Like, if your muscles cannot rest, they cannot regenerate, so they are weak the entire day, cannot support you fully, which, like, snowballs the entire problem later on. Yeah, but still, anyway, back to the good parts, because that's what actually is quite important. Yeah. Okay. Everything is breaking. Yeah, let's go. Oh. Yeah. What happened yesterday? I uploaded a short which broke 1,000 views, and I'm very happy with it. I mean, 16, 17 likes, few comments, and it's an achievement for me. And I'm quite happy with it that someone likes what I do. I need to work on my pronunciation. Give me a second. I really do need to work on my pronunciation though, but so if I can work on that and make it a little better, would be great. Do we have on the playlist something better? Let it go. Doesn't really matter. Again, it's not much. It doesn't really make the channel anything successful. I'm just happy. I mean, it's the biggest, best shot I've made so far. I can't say it's perfect. But I had fun. It's very, very fun to make them. On that note, it's the last draft I had, so I don't really know what I will do for the entire next week. I do know I have a video plan about the book in the entirety. The video that speaks about my experience with the entire book, the writing, some maybe tips and quirks, and things like that. Things I learned, I didn't learn, I wish I learned. Hey, my bad. But yeah, things like that. Maybe some thoughts here and there. And I will address the main issue I currently experiencing, which is rereading the book entirely again and again and again, and finding more mistakes, which is I wouldn't say it's unusual, but it's really disheartening, demotivating even. It's does not feel great. I believe the story-wise book is good. Like, I won't deny, story-wise, I like the book. I like the characters. I like I like it. And well, yeah, of course, I wrote it. But definitely, if I will ever do second part of this, the book is planned for like 3 parts maybe, so we'll see. If I ever get to writing the second part, I will absolutely try to work something with an editor, a proofreader, something like that. Yeah, doesn't really matter. A proofreader, an editor, someone who can maybe not guide me, but check the quality beyond me. Yeah, that's like one of the points I made in the video that I will do. Don't know yet. Sunday will be audiobook. I should have it ready Sunday. Yeah, Sunday is audiobook. I have no idea when the video will be out. Either Tuesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday, because I don't have short yet planned. And I would love to keep the algorithm, knowing I upload every Thursday something. But I feel like the algorithm only works differently, separately, for shorts and main channel. Jesus, I'm so sleepy, I'm so sorry. This will be so scuffed. Also, another issue I had the entire week, apart from my back breaking in half and hip being 60 years old, I grew and practiced to the point of forgetting how to read. Now the bell curve, like where you are and when what happens, not the bell curve, it's the dip, like when you are getting better, like when you are learning a new skill and practicing and training and getting better and better and better, and at a certain point you not only stop improving, but at a certain point you get worse. Absolutely floor level. You forget how to do anything, and yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I have no expectation of today. Obviously, I will do my best. I will, like always, do my absolutely best. The voices will still be cringe, and I will try to, yeah, do my best reading. Hmm. I kind of wonder, am I a book writer? If I s- like published a book, Hmm, depends on the definition, but technically I am. Practically, the book is crap, but again, it's just the starting point. Like it's only the beginning, the first book. Like it's rare that someone creates first book and it's so perfect that uh, you cannot find any mistake in it. And even still, if you were to make a book and it was perfect, someone would still find a mistake. I mean, don't get me wrong. If humanity, if I ever saw something in humanity, it's an insane ability to keep narrative. If you don't like something or want to then like something, you will find a reason to not to. Which is quite weird, because the same also works if you want to like something, you will find a reason to like it. But somehow people tend to be negative about everything. I don't know. Just a thought, I guess. I need to work on the. I should make some work, make the adjustment to the model, and to. I keep looking at it and it turns my face around. Can I? Oh, whoopsie daisy. Yeah. Anyway, it's been 15 minutes of me yapping and doing absolutely nothing. I'm in green, so I shouldn't be yapping so much, but I quite like yapping. So I guess I can steal some attributes from other colors. That's fine. Last chapter, part 6, we were dealing with the aftermath of the attack on the girls, and uh, Miss Richards took Yuki to her medical lab to examine him. Unfortunately, that an attack on the girls happened, and we dealt with few different things. For example, Yuki clashed with the instructor. In the teacher's room, he started activated his entire plan protocol to move along, to move forward with his plan. And at the same time, the Bale was let out of her confinement with her brother Gale. Their encounter and the still struggle, like. And we ended the chapter with close combat training, where this absolute disaster of an action happened, which I would love to never read again, but I will probably have to at some point. Why can't you stay still, please? My phone is moving every way that I don't want it to, just to piss me off. And it's fine. I'm trying to work with what I can, and it's absolutely fine. It will be great. Then, for some reason, after the close combat, Bale fought with Amy. The entire fight happened, and Amy, something told Amy to throw Bale at Yuki. This will be where we are picking up, like every fall. Screaming and shouts resonated through the room, as it wasn't unheard of for Amy to lose her cool during the practice, but for the first time against someone so much more frail than her, trying to explain that she didn't mean it was pointless, as she never had opinion about Bale and Yuki alike. So she threw Bale at Yuki. Today is not a great day for reading. I'm tired, my eyes are tired, and I'm not focused, but I will do my best. For you all. Maybe someone will enjoy it at a certain point. I hope so. That's another point I made in the video that I'm doing. Although the book... How can I describe this well? Like, the book is on the internet. Like, the book is sold on the Amazon. Ebook is for $1. There's $12.49 for paperback. For some reason, tax without tax in America, which is very weird practice. I don't understand it. But you do you. I'm not here to judge. And the book will also be an audiobook here. And again, I really want it to be understood well. Like, for now, if you want the entirety of the book, you might need to purchase it. For now, obviously. If you are patient, you can wait another 2 months until the entire thing is released. And I feel like it's a fair deal. The book was available free for 3 days, and I posted 2 shorts mentioning it. But unfortunately, they were banned by the algorithm, so cannot really do much about it, but it's what it is. And there's nothing really I can do about it beyond what I already have done. At certain point, I have 2 more days, so I will do 1 more day in a few weeks when the entire story like hits the, let's say, culmination point, like probably a month before ending the audiobook. We'll do 1 more day, and then I will save the last day, because when you publish another version, you get 5 days of free book, like a promotion. So I will save the last day for the event I will ever finish the second book. Jesus, I'm yapping so much. Back to the point. The book is as a token of support, I guess. Let's say the token of support. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to buy it. It will be free. But if you like the product, you like it so far, think like it's worth $1. And to be honest, $1 for a few hours of reading an interesting and broken English story, eh, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Why am I talking about this? Oh yeah, because I want people to read the book and have fun. I feel like this is the most. This is my goal. I wrote the book for myself to some degree to mm, mm, not maybe relive the story, but to create something. Like creativity is very fun and dealing with different situations, thinking about growth and all of that for practice, about everything. But creating the world is really fun. I mean, it's very, very fun, and also you learn about yourself more. To be fair, I kind of no, that's something I don't want to speak about right now. Maybe after the entire audiobook. Uh, and yeah, again, it's the channel is a promotion, like obviously, but it's not the main goal here. I'm not making nearly enough from the book to justify saying that it's greed. I feel like it's a very fair deal. Like we are walking through the story part by part, going through it together, and yeah, spending time going over things. If someone has a question, they can always pop into the chat, talk to me, ask a question, we can talk about it. Fortunately or not, that didn't happen yet. This is also my feeling about it. Like, I'm not worried anymore. Like, streaming makes me very anxious, makes me very stressed. But I decided to do it in the end. I want to share my work, my book. I want to do something good. And as I said many times with the short, and I will say it many times more, I want to help and people grow. Maybe they will learn from me. Maybe they will learn from my mistakes. But then again, I am also growing with them, learning from the same mistake, like from the collective experience we got. So yeah, I think that would be cool. I've also been seeing today many materials about male VTubing being dead, everyone being a creep, and that sort of thing. For me, VTubing, I don't know, I'm not really going into that entire anime-like character here. I wanted to be anonymous to some degree, because I have my own in real life problems. Severity of them is to be decided, and that's based on your own opinion. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, for me it's safety. I'm really anxious around new people, to the degree I am even would say I'm afraid of interacting with people. So me streaming, doing everything that I'm doing right now is a sort of therapy for me. I'm also trying to get out, get to people, get someone else new to know, to interact with people, to learn how to exist in society. I guess. I hope... Why is it broken again? It's unbroken. Cool. Again, I hope if you ever decide to place trust in me, I hope I will never break it. I really, 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 really do. I don't know what might happen. I don't know what I might do. I know I'm trying to be the best of me. I wonder how many red flags are raised right now. I'm not a bad guy. I really want to help people. But I'm also very paranoid and scared. So I can... explaining my reasoning, I can see people trying to blame me for something I didn't do, for taking things out of context, putting me in situations that are beneficial to them and to create a narrative against me. So we will see how that goes and everything works out. Yeah, I am a massive overthinker. I stress over everything and I'm paranoid of everything. I'm very afraid of people. And being behind that very simple avatar is the minimal amount of safety I really needed to be able to do that. Even doing that avatar, like creating, drawing it, and rigging the entire thing in Box 2D, Live 2D. It was fun to some degree. I cannot draw. I can somehow rig models, do some basic stuff. And yeah, I remember like doing the first stream. It was very stressful. Nobody watched it, but I would have a heart attack if I see people type in chat and comment about the model. That would be crazy. Even now, I've been doing this for a few months now, and I still have no idea if I prefer the streams being not watched or having people here. I would have a heart attack if I see someone type. This will be very awkward because I will have no idea how to talk with them. Do I talk with them constantly? Do I also keep talking about anything I am doing right now? It's a very delicate balance. I don't want to overwhelm someone. If I see someone pop into the chat, I cannot put all my attention into them because they will be afraid. So it has to be comfortable for both sides, yeah? This has been 30 minutes of me rambling about things. Yeah, I should get going. Because at this rate, things never will be done. I hope Bale's voice won't destroy my entire throat today. I will break you in half if you slip one more time. But you will. I believe in you. Yeah, okay. Everything we cut up? Yeah, cool, fine. Cool, recording started. Are you alright? Asked Bale. Not taking his eyes away from the tablet. It was like he didn't notice anything had happened. Yeah, thanks. That's good. I think you should pay a little bit more attention to your surroundings, though. If it were someone else, you would be splattered on the wall. If it were someone else, that would be kinda counterproductive, don't you think? Countered her point Yuki. Everyone, including Gale, was watching them closely. It was obvious to him that the goal was to pull attention, but to which one of them? What do you mean? Asked curious Bale. Anyway, do you mind putting me down? I appreciate the gesture, but we should check if your spine is fine. Realizing the entire time she was squeezing onto his thigh and chest, she blushed and instantly let go of him. Right after the teacher, with the rest of the class, got to Bale and started checking if she was alright, ignoring Yuki entirely. Luckily, she was fine and treated as a hero of the day, sacrificing herself to save Yuki from harm's way. Even though it looked like he didn't pay any attention to the match, it wouldn't be him if he left it at it. Making his way towards Amy, who was sitting at the bench at the opposing side of the hall. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I know, cut her apology short Yuki. Sometimes emotion make us really bad at reading situation, but your idea of focusing more on your balance was brilliant. Thank you. You are a prodigy, analyzing situation fast and making great calls to overwhelm your opponents, no matter who they are. But she went easy on you. That's the difference between an aspirant and a genius. What do you mean? I mean what I said. Do you think she could get a lot of speed in such a tight space? Think how much faster she could be if the area was unrestricted. He elaborated a little more. Anyway, I don't want to crush your spirit even more. The point is, how do you stop an unstoppable force? Can you figure out how to turn your weakness into a strength? You already went through a lot over the last week. Think it's about time you stood up. Sometimes no matter who you are, you just cannot win everything, but you shouldn't give up either. Giving her advice, he started to walk back to the center as the teacher started to call for him. Hey Yuki! Shouted Amy after him. Thank you. Met with only a thumbs up, she felt bad for looking down on him this entire time, but it wasn't what he was. Met with only thumbs up, she felt bad for looking down on him this entire time, but it wasn't what he was after. People can treat him however they want. All he needs for them is to grow to be their own people, capable of their own thought in a world where manipulation and exploitation are all too common. He won't always be around to help them. Make the world something you want to be a part of. Yuki, I cannot have you keep reading from the tablet. Yuki, I cannot have you keep reading from the tablet during the lessons anymore. Jesus. Yuki, I cannot have you keep reading from the tablet during the lessons anymore, said the teacher once he got back to the group. Bale has volunteered to teach you some basic techniques, so now you will be training together. Glancing at Bale, she appeared to be mumbling to herself behind her mask, not before she sent a kiss in his direction. Her obsession was bizarre, as he didn't have enough visible features to be desired. Somehow she saw right through him. What exactly she wanted, only the three of them knew. Alright, everyone is fine. How about you continue? There is still a lot of time left. With that, the entire class went back to the practice, with only Amy being left out since she didn't have a partner anymore. For the first time, however, she was fine with it, as she was still unsure what had happened. She would never do that on her own. Did she have a cramp that made her let go? Sorry. Or what did he mean she went easy on you? Question didn't stop as the mat before her became occupied by Yuki and Bale. She was out there to prove that people looked down on him for far too long. I don't really know how you expect us to practice, said indifferent Yuki. Well, it's quite simple. It all starts with you being a bit serious. She smiled wildly through her mask. Without giving him any chance to prepare, she launched her fist at his stomach, but was quickly deflected and gently laid down by Yuki. Amy couldn't believe what she just saw, but knew it was for her to watch. The show was only starting though. Seeing Bale lying on the ground with her hand held by the loser who could barely walk by himself would get a lot of attention, but no one seems to notice it. See? I knew you could do this. I don't think you understand what you are asking for. "Oh, I know that very well," she said as she stood up and walked away to her starting position. It was what she wanted, a peek into his soul so they could finally see one another, to feel if this is the voice that keeps calling out to her. Not even turning back to face him, she once again shot in the distance in the blink of an eye. With a swift and powerful kick, she moved both of his feet to the side, making him fall, holding onto his arm to lessen the impact. "How about you get more into it, huh?" "What am I supposed to do?" asked confused Yuki, but Bale didn't buy it. "I don't want to, but can and will hurt you if you don't play your part, okay?" She whispered. She whispered to his ear as she sent a wink towards Amy. If you don't want to look at me, I will make you." Helping him stand up and giving him ample time to figure things out, Bale went to her side of the mat. Yuki exhaled slowly and took on a stance with his right hand close to his face and left covering lowered along the torso. Once again, Bale charged at him, trying to sweep him off his feet, but he quickly backed away, smiling. She knew Yuki had started to get serious. He still had more to give though, but it was fine, it was enough for now. Launching a flurry of punches at him, he effortlessly deflected them away while still getting pushed back. Amy was looking in shock at the fight before her, and only her. No one else was interested in this for some reason, like it was a private show just for her. Bale's attack was slower this time, yet still beyond what she could understand. Slower, but if they landed, a normal person would be seriously hurt. No doubt Yuki cannot survive a single one. Even more baffling was how he, out of everyone, was the only one who could stand against her with little to no problems. It wasn't training, it wasn't even a fight. They were playing with each other. Punch after punch, pushing him right to the edge, but this fight wasn't like any other. Bale never met anyone who would be so weak, yet so immune to her advances. Like he would know what she was about to do before she even thought about it. How interesting, she thought to herself. But because she was more focused on observing his skill than attacking, it gave him the opening he needed. While she threw a strong left hand at his face, Yuki swiftly blocked her foot from shifting balance and pulling her forward and down, twisted her arm behind her back, locking her on the ground. The fight ended right as the school bell rang, letting the surrounding sound back into the bubble. Yuki let go of her hand and extended his to help her stand up, which she took without hesitation. For the first time, the eyes met for a brief moment. "That was so fun!" she shouted as she threw herself at his neck. "I knew you were the one!" "I don't understand." "What is there to understand? You had to look at me," she confessed, staring deep into his eyes. "I love you." "I think you should talk about this elsewhere," he replied, as she wasn't discreet at all, and their classmates started to stare. "Now, if you excuse me, I have to go for a bit." "Is it a date?" "It's a promise we'll talk," said Yuki as he unhooked her arms and sped to the bathroom. Again, wanting to stay low, he was forcefully brought back into the spotlight. This time, however, it was good. Belle was different from everyone else. She was normal, no matter how bizarre it sounded. Even though she had silver powers, she didn't treat him as trash or a tool. She saw him for who he really is, which was a very dangerous sight for everyone else but them. "I was late." She was saddened for a moment, but that emotion quickly faded as she continued cheerfully to herself. "But it's okay. I'm here now." Stumbling into the bathroom, Yuki barged into the first stall and started to violently throw up. The more he forces himself, the worse his illness gets for the moment. Not like anyone could really help him with it anyway. "You here, Yuki?" said Jean, entering the bathroom. "Yeah," the young man replied, gathering himself off the floor. "Everything fine?" "Yes, just a bit tired." Walking towards the sink, Yuki wiped off some blood from his face. "You don't look too hot. Anyway, I'm sure you have it under control," he said, dismissing his obvious distress. "I don't know how or why are you doing this, but have a bit of tact." "What?" said feigning surprise Yuki. "Exactly what I said. You just broke up with Miku, and you already have another girl around you with no regards to how she might be feeling. Run out of breath. Raising his eyebrow high. Yuki was speechless, but it wasn't expected. He was never... He never wanted either of those occurrences, but suddenly he's getting blamed for both. Knowing he's frail and weak, it's pretty common that people take advantage of him, but to play moral high ground... I don't care what you do in your private time, but please keep it away from the public forum, continued Jean, standing above him. Oh, so Dibs bothers you, but when Seth was bullying me it was okay. I never said that, but you also never spoke out about it. Guess someone has to fill in his shoes. Listen, I just want our class to stay... No, you have nothing of interest to say. If you are interested in Belle, go for it. It's not like I have choice in the matter anyway. I'm afraid she might be too much for you though. Attempting to leave the bathroom, but angry Jean blocked his way. What do you mean by that? Wouldn't you like to know? Replied roughly Yuki and shoved past him. Jean stood in the door for a drink. Jean stood in the doorway for a bit, stunned. He never meant for this talk to turn this way, but for some reason Yuki reacted very out of character for him. Or at least, what he thought of him until now. It was hard for him to accept, but he was right. He acted like an ass when he didn't know the full picture. But no one knows it. He was trying to justify himself in his thoughts, yet it still didn't sound right. Bad luck for him though, as she caught a glimpse of the situation and her curiosity piqued. When Bay left the gymnasium, jumping for joy, Miku and Jane went to see how Amy was doing. She was still sitting near the wall, trying to process what she had just seen. You saw that too, right? She immediately asked the girls. Still have watched, cool. A blunt confession? It was hard not to see. Not that, Jane, the fight! Amy looked up, pale, and her fiery red hair spilling over her face. No? Sorry, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it didn't seem too rough. What do you mean not too rough? I'm surprised you even survived that. That girl is a monster and he's not much less himself. Her eyes watered, pleading for someone to believe her as her pale face started slowly regaining its color. It's gonna be a mess. Her eyes watered, pleading for someone to believe her as her pale face slowly regained its color. I don't... The model is broken again. Why are nothing working? Why is nothing working today? I don't like her either, but wouldn't go as far as calling her a monster, said Miku. You threw her across the hall without much trouble, but she wasn't allowed to finish that sentence. I didn't! I don't know. It's like someone forced me to do that. That's not the point. Compared to the bro she was playing with me. Amy gasped for air. The fight was just simple fun. Both of them were just playing. That's weird. I know you aren't lying, but I also didn't see anything like that. Maybe you're a bit tired, and since you took a beating, see things differently. Jane tried to comfort her friend, but also avoided the subject of her ego being bruised again. Amy was very proud of her skill, and now that she had lost to someone, she might be in shock or even doubt herself again. I know what I saw. In that case, we better ask Yuki what he thinks about this. In that case, we better ask Yuki what he thinks about it. I also want to talk to him about this whole lovely-dovely stuff that's happening. Just let him be, dismissed the plan Miku. First, he wouldn't be able to fight anyone without violently throwing up and wallowing in pain. Second, I like that he found someone else. He can be happy and I can focus on school fully. Well, then you won't have any problems if we talk to him, right? Said Jane. Why do you keep asking that? Just go and talk to him already. Cool, but later. Let's have some rest first, proposed the green-haired girl. Sorry, Jane, but it's all you, replied Amy. I already heard from him what I needed, and now I have to figure out how to use it. That's fine. It's not that you are embarrassed since you are always rough and look down on him, right? Shut up! Yelled Amy. Darn, you are annoying when you are right. While awkward, friends laughed it off and went to their home class for lunch. Jane was always curious about Yuki as a person, but due to circumstances, she suppressed her curiosity. Mick was either all the time with him or, like now, not willing to speak about it, which added another layer of mystery. Yet it was hard for her to approach him for a casual conversation. Always busy reading or disappearing somewhere after lessons ended. Now she had a reason better than her own curiosity to bother him. It was Bale. What Amy told her is one thing, but he also didn't seem too comfortable with how pushy Bale was. It was subtle, but visible to a keen eye, and maybe she could give him some advice on how to handle it. Someone as nice as him could have big problems with hurting someone else. With the lunch break quickly over, 2 lessons of chemistry began. Most students were still tired after the practice, but the subject was only a basic understanding of general chemistry. Those who would be interested do have their own material to delve deeper into the subject, but to most, it's just another easy lesson. Jane observed quietly as Bale shoved her desk to Yuki because she didn't understand something. He didn't object and, as always, helped her with whatever she needed, but he'd rather read from his tablet. What's weird is that Bale was immune compromised, and from everyone she chose to get close and personal to the sick kid with an unknown disease. Maybe it wasn't infectious since he was allowed to attend school as normal, but she still showed a lack of self-preservation. It's only been 2 days since she arrived, and yet, with each day, she proves to be even more amazing and bizarre. Finally, after 2 long, grueling hours of explaining basics to her, students were done with the lesson and could go on with their lives. Saying goodbye to Miku and Amy, Jane went back to class as she realized she had forgotten something. Getting close to the classroom, she heard a struggle and a loud conversation between Bale and Jean. I'm just saying, you should be a bit more careful. No one knows what he has, and your illness... That doesn't sound good. Yeah? Yes. Also, if you could lower the intensity of your affection. I don't want to have the class divided with drama. Oh, of course you don't. As of now, it looks like you're all divided against him. And I don't have time for trash like you, so if you excuse me... Trash! He exclaimed as he grabbed her arm. At this moment, Jane thought about barging in, but the ground shook as the sound of broken wood rumbled out of the classroom, stopping her mid-step. You are nothing but a pest, a parasite leeching off of others' hard work. You are ungrateful and spineless to the point I'm curious if you would crunch if I crushed you, but that's okay. You're all the same, people with influence and gut complex. Standing over motionless Jean, Bale kept her boot on his throat. I was told I should play nice, so I'll break you a deal. Be a good boy, clean the classroom and apologize to my boo. In exchange, I will let you finish this year unarmed. How about that? Oh, you agree? That's so sweet of you. She let go of Jean, picked up the green purse from the nearby desk and left the classroom. Standing eye to eye with Jane, who heard the entire commotion, but it didn't bother her. Jane, here, you left this. She handed her belongings up nonchalantly with a warm smile on her eyes. See you tomorrow, sister, she ended, skipping away. What just happened? Looking in, Jean quickly took the broken desk into his arm and left the classroom without saying a word. He acted more like a programmed robot than a human, but maybe it was the shock as she He acted like a programmed robot. Second. Okay, but what just happened? Looking in, John quickly took the broken desk into his arms and left the classroom without saying a word. He acted more he acted more like a programmed robot than human. But maybe it was the shock, as she was experiencing the same. But she was seriously dangerous. Suddenly, Amy's claims went as crazy as they sounded. What do I do now? She thought. Does she go on with it and talk with Yuki? Or just stay low, not to attract any attention from the blonde devil? It's not like she was about to go in between them, but the thought of her misunderstanding the situation was terrifying. Still, she wanted to talk to him and get to know him a little to show his gratitude for his help. Ha! I don't think I could see myself in the mirror if I didn't do that, she thought to herself and left. Luckily, Yuki wasn't hard to track, as he was in the library alone as per usual. Hey Yuki, do you have a minute? I guess that depends. How can I help you? Responded Yuki politely, quickly turning the screen off. I wanted to thank you for all the tips and help during the pod training and all. I know that not many people give you the respect you deserve for all the hard work you do, but they are getting there. Even Amy started to see you in a different light after today's practice. Does she? Of course Bale did that, mumbled to himself Yuki. What? Said Jane, as she could barely understand what he said. I said that's okay. I just want to see you all succeed. This world can be a dangerous place. No kidding. Bale is also quite strange. From the words of our previous undefeated champion, she's a real monster. Haha, laughed awkwardly Jane. She was even surprised you survived that sparring today. It was just a practice, so I wasn't in any real danger. But that answer didn't sit right with Jane. Either he was hiding something, or implying that both of them can go even harder. Either was equally frightening in that instance. She's a bit rough around the edges, but it takes a bit to get used to this place. A bit rough might be an understatement, hahaha. Yeah, haha. Since we are talking about her, how do you feel about it? While the entire conversation up to this point was quite normal, this question would make him raise an eyebrow. He already knew Miku didn't put her up to this, so why would she care? I don't feel anything in particular. Why? It's nothing. Just wanted to ask you instead of making wrong assumptions. Some could say you are using her to get back at Miku. Yeah, I think John mentioned that before. Unfortunately, I don't have any control over that. Bale will do what she wants. Maybe you can talk to her and explain how you feel. No, reason is the last thing that will get to her, and she won't stop until she gets what she wants. I don't want to spend any energy explaining that to her. But no buts here. Bale likes challenges, and I'm doing my best not to become one. It's very complicated. Yuki explained, yet the pleasant talk was quickly broken by the lingering presence. I think you should go now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. You weren't, but for some time now a certain someone has been watching you closely. What? Jane stood up and started to frantically look around, catching a glimpse of the blonde devil. Easy, said Yuki, and grabbed her hand. She eventually calmed down and sat down for a minute. Listen, you'll be fine as long as you don't cross her. You know it doesn't sound any better. Sadly, it's not meant to sound better. It's advice, and there is nothing else I can give you right now. He stopped for a bit before continuing. If she's a monster, I would be very careful poking around her territory. Please don't make it harder. Thanks. Leaving the library, she occasionally looked around to see if she was being followed. Looks like Yuki isn't a territory she can explore freely, but this conversation gave her some insight into how she operates. How he operates. He'd rather prioritize growth, either his or someone else's, than engage in pointless fights, treating comfort as a luxury that not everyone can have. He accepted that most won't accept him. Out of those people, some are more aggressive and some are less, but it's what's it. Lucky for him, here comes Bale, who will stand up for him for some reason. Being loved after 2 days barely spent together is unreasonable, but sometimes the heart knows better. The question is, why him? Why did she go through so much trouble just for him? And it's not a question Jane asks alone. The next day, while Yuki arrived at school early, Jean was already there waiting. Before he could notice anything, the blonde boy fell to his knees and started to beg for forgiveness. It didn't take long until the terror emerged, and his words became so distorted that he was just making sounds. Awkward as it might be, Yuki accepted his apology, stood him up straight, and holding his hand tight, said, "Don't worry about it." Leaving for the library, he could already hear people whisper about it. Unusual for anyone to be here this early, but it looks like things won't make any sense anymore. After the first biology lesson, students were surprised to meet with Miss Richards. Since she had to take over the break, she wanted to be as fast with the announcement as she could. She explained briefly that their lesson plan has changed. All non-practical subjects were cut in half and moved to the start of the day, while the gap was filled with the new practice. What those lessons are, she would explain today after lunch. Thanking them for the attention, she promptly left a minute before the bell rang again, and the physics teacher walked in. The lessons plan changed entirely, but the only needed adjustment was on Tuesday. Monday, common, home class, lunch, influence training twice, no extracurricular. Tuesday, come in 1 hour early for chemistry, close combat twice, lunch, IT twice. Wednesday, biology, physics, lunch, IT twice. Thursday, history, home class, lunch, IT twice. Friday, geography, common, lunch, IT twice. IT thrice. IT 3 times. The class felt a wave of uneasiness wash over them. Over 50% of what they learn now would be IT, almost immediately after the pod incident and Seb's disappearance. If people were still holding on to the idea of going into a different profession, it looked a little distant, like a distant dream right now. Oh, okay, that can die, but whatever. After the lesson ended, everyone was eating lunch, uncertain of what would come next. Everyone except Gale, who just stared at the wall. Bale, who was too busy feeding Yuki, and him, who didn't care. While she said Gale was jealous of him and very protective, somehow he didn't stop her from approaching Yuki. How strange. Okay, everyone, as the bell rang and the students finished clearing the tables, Miss Richards walked in and took their attention. Pack your things and leave. Pack your things and leave them in the lockers at the entrance. You won't need any of those for the next lesson. When you are ready, I will be waiting in front of the building. Oh, today is not the best day. She left the classroom as some students followed her straight away. As Yuki had only his tablet, he stood up and left at his own pace, not in a hurry to keep up with the rest. Gate took Bale's things and went out while she stayed close to Yuki and clung to his arm tightly. "So, when are we gonna talk?" she asked politely. "Do we need to? You already treat us like a couple." I mean, aren't we? Showing a bright smile on her eyes, glowing from the happiness. You're asking like I have a choice. Of course you do. I'm not a monster, Bale pouted. Aren't you happy too? Everyone is safe while you are with me. Do as you wish. Talking with her is like tampering with an active bomb. One wrong move and everything will turn to rubble. Yet Yuki felt the shadows were keeping their distance. They are still watching him, but as long as she is here, they cannot take it lightly. Whether it's her they are afraid of, or her giant of a brother. This place is of so much significance, losing it could break the Federation into pieces. Still, there are too many things to consider. It's fine. You have all the time in the world to think about it. I'm not going anywhere. Irritating every passerby, but they were far beyond the realm. While Yuki was with Miku, they only saw one another, but they were always inclusive of other people. Still, not many people dared to barge in. This time, however, even while opinions on that matter were split, the outside world ceased to exist beyond them. No one could step in since the entrance didn't exist. Coming close would be dangerous in of itself. Rumor about John lashing out spread quickly, but not as quickly as his breaking down in fear and tears while apologizing. Everyone knew it was Yuki's fault, and from that point on, the nickname Blonde Devil stuck to her firmly. When everyone gathered, Miss Richards led them to the back of the building and through a locked door into a massive elevator. Riding at least 5 stories down, they were greeted by an open space of enormous size. Dirt covered by grass, artificial sun and pleasant breeze, the terrain was rather flat, with some minor imperfections, but still, it was the first time they could see nature in a long time. Okay. Today we have 3 lessons. I will quickly summarize what we will do, what we need to achieve, and why. She started, once they reached a singular mound with a tree growing out of it. Here, you will train the same thing you did during PI, with a few key differences. For starters, you don't get protective suits so your powers won't be dampened anymore, but be very careful. They are far more dangerous in here. Answering a few questions about the safety and methods, she gave the students a little room to breathe before she continued. Point 2 and 3 are connected, so I will quickly get to them. You have about a month to be able to use your powers more freely. After that time, there will be a physical test that will judge your abilities, cooperation and proficiency. You'll be split into groups of 4, and from now on, that's who you'll be training with. The exam will be very tough, which is why you are almost entirely focused on this. I will be here with you all the time to give you tips and answer any questions. I'm sure we can do this if we work hard together. Of course, everyone wanted to know more about the test, but even Miss Richards didn't know anything yet. She didn't explain the rules better. Groups are based on the median of power and potential displayed during PI. Adjustments will be made on the go if the prediction missed the mark. Groups are encouraged to talk with others, to share information they gather and ask for help if they want to train their tactics, within reason. Then she split the class into groups. Without Seth and his gang, 23 students were left, so one group contained only 3 people. Jane and Amy got paired with Gail and Maria. While Gail was the new student, Maria never really got into any social group, so from a certain perspective she's new too. And the last one, she read from the tablet, reading it 3 times, as even though there was no other option, it looked impossible. Miku, Bale, and Yuki? Yes? Asked the boy, curious. It looks like you'll be taking part in this exercise. I will have to ask if there aren't many mistakes, but for now, try to do your best to support your team. Sure, he replied and went back to reading. Okay, since we have a lot of time for today, spread out in your groups and look around. You probably didn't see this scenery in a while, so enjoy yourself. Yes! The class erupted with a cheer and started to scout the area. For the next hour, everyone was running around and taking in the fresh air and calm atmosphere, talking among themselves and getting to know one another, since many people from different groups were mixed. The controversial group had a different take on the time. Bale was very curious about this place, took a great interest in knowing the limitation of it. She traveled along it, figured out what she could work with. Yuki, as nothing happened, sat under the tree and kept on reading, which left Miko entirely alone for the time being. Weird feeling, being with people all the time. For the first time in a while, she had no one by her side. She sat down in the middle of the empty field and watched the artificial clouds go by. And watched the artificial and watch the artificial clouds go by. I'm sorry, Yuki, I'm afraid there is no mistake. Miss Bridget came by with bad news. Looks like Belle is ranked so high, you're the only person that could even the odds out. Doesn't diamond power beat silver, though? He asked. Does, but the instructor doesn't believe Miko will be able to achieve appropriate results. Even if she did, and I'm quoting here, he's enough to bring both of them down. That's what he said. I understand. Still, it didn't change anything. There's nothing he can gain from being here. Unless... I'm pretty sure this is not the only reason. I think you are right. You will spend a lot of time in this uncomfortable setting. You shouldn't have spoken against him. I'm sorry. It's okay. We will be working on similar periods as doing PI, right? I think so. Why? And no particular reason, he replied, smiling. At least it will be something familiar, Yuki muttered gladly under his breath. Although he hoped they would have more time, he had to hurry. Finishing with Amy and making Miko able to use her powers was his main goal right now. A month is a long time for changes to happen, so it wasn't doomed entirely, but looking at Bale in the distance, he knew she had already... For fuck's sake. Oh, for freak's sake. Looking at Bale in the distance, he knew she already had the entire place figured out. Getting close to her would be very easy, but also rough at the same time. Yet, with Bale close by, Yuki had far better chances to stay undetected. He noticed it earlier. Unlike everyone else, the hidden cameras intentionally ignored her and turned away every time she stepped into the view. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what she's doing, nor it would take one to review the footage and realize that something isn't right. The same with Gale. How irresponsible can you be? And that's part 7. 38 minutes of recording, about 6 minutes of screwing around with different things. Oh. I am absolutely not focused on doing anything right now. Even though the reading right now went far better than any readings I did during the week, I feel like me being tired and unfocused made it very difficult. Like, this is for one thing, and the other thing being, it's not rough, but it's draining. Like, talking for a while it's not that hard. If you when you talk, you don't really need to have the consistency. You can stop, you can think, you can breathe normally, but when you read, it's difficult. Like, you have to keep pace, you have to keep moving on and on and on and on and on. I feel like I suck at making pauses, like to make breaks in the text, to really think about what I'm reading and when to pause, to rest for a second, to grab some air and to refill my lungs. But I hmm, maybe that comes with experience. Maybe I'm not doing something right. I feel like reading shouldn't be something I should read like 15 hours of documents about. But yeah, I feel like it's just endurance for now. Like after 30, 40 minutes of reading non-stop, it gets yeah, it gets very difficult to upkeep. That plus I also have a different personal issue. Like maybe watching my VTuber avatar, you can realize that I'm quite animating when I crashed again. Jesus. And you can realize I'm quite animated to some degree. And when I speak in character with different people, I tend to do faces. I tend to mimic the face I feel like the character would do. And in some cases, I close my eyes for some reason. And stop following the text, which is what it is. First line. What? I kinda wonder what to do with the entire streaming side of things. Because the YouTube doesn't really work well. I might try Twitch. But it's weird starting in the middle. But I guess there's nothing wrong with it. Wonder if I can make... I will figure it out next week. We'll see. We will see. Like, I don't plan to do more than one stream a week. I'm mostly focused on surviving and thinking about the YouTube channel as of now. How can I grow the channel in a way that would be honest, sincere, and boost both me, myself, and the book. That's quite interesting. Like, maybe I have no idea. Like, I know the YouTube side of thing is very algorithm heavy. So, for example, with shorts, I broke the 1K views, which means the algorithm start to push me delicately beyond the niche I was in, and it will keep testing me, the content I do, if it works for the broader audience with each upload. And the YouTube streams, I feel like it's cooked for now. Like, I'm having 0 views. It's because it's not really that interesting. I'm not doing anything that would be interesting to current content gobbler, because there is a purple blob on the screen that's hanging and wobbling around, doing absolutely nothing of interest to anyone. Uh, and it breaks every 13 seconds. Which parts breaks? Is the camera broken? No, the camera is working. I feel like the VTube Studio doesn't. Yeah, VTube Studio doesn't. But no, the calibration of the camera, the movement it breaks. So that's interesting. So I'm moving beyond. That's cool. I mean, that's not cool. That's bad. But I'm moving beyond the border of what the model is made for. So the camera breaks for a minute before it can reconnect. Huh. Interesting. I wonder. But yeah, we will see. Maybe I will storm some ideas. I don't know. Anyway, thank you everyone for stream. Thank you for watching. What I was talking about? Oh yeah, the algorithm. Since nobody watches my YouTube live, the algorithm doesn't promote it anywhere. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, the content exists. If someone is interested about the content, they will see my short. They will click on the thing and they will go into the channel, find the video. If they are interested in the book, they will read the audio books and everything else. Sleepy. So maybe there will be again the next time. Also, maybe the time is the problem to some degree. Like Friday, it's like 7, 8. No, that's 6, 7. However it is, sounds. 6, 7 p.m. So that should be fine-ish. An hour. Assuming like normal people would go out between 7, 8, maybe 9 for clubs and everything to celebrate with people, and maybe even before that. But might be issue with that. I mean, I can move it one day earlier. Would that be a good idea? I don't know. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, I'm rambling pointlessly without any rhyme or reason and just doing absolutely nothing. So I'll end the stream. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here and watching with me. And reading with me, listening to me yap and read the book. I'm very glad you came. I'm very, very glad to see you're doing fine and okay. I wish you the best. I really do. Have a fantastic weekend. Have some fun with friends, with family. I hope it's very fun, it's very comfortable. And I hope you will be very healthy tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. Have fun. Yeah. That's it. I have nothing to say. Yeah. See you always. I'm always watching.